Every Mercedes-Benz electric vehicle offers the very latest MBUX voice-activated AI software, as well as remote access to a whole host of functions via the Mercedes Me Connect app. The vehicle's electric, the feeling all Mercedes, the choice all yours. Test drive a Mercedes-Benz electric today at your local dealer or learn more at mbusa.com/EQ.
The buzzer has sounded. We are headed to overtime with William Pattison on Fox Sports Knoxville. This is Fan Run Radio.
And here we go live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. It's overtime with William Pattison, Max Pennell, Jeremy Inslee, and Tyler Barbaras joining you on a Tyler Thursday from Knoxville, Tennessee. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Over the next hour, we'll talk about, well, we have some developing news, some breaking news. We were going to talk about the matchup tonight. Football is back, but Terry McLaurin has now requested a trade for the Washington Commanders. So now that
talking about the Hall of Fame game.
Well, anymore? we were going to try to decipher. Will DJ Uiagalelei or Trey Lance be more impressive tonight? That was going to be our original topic. Very amusing. But now it's Terry McLaurin, which is actually a really big development for the Commanders, coming off a very successful season in year one with Jaden Daniels. Now the top wide receiver is saying, I want out.
I know someone else that's live right now that would talk about the Hall of Fame game.
Okay.
Just saying.
Well, continue to the second link. We know Jeremiah Smith is the best receiver in college football, but who is the second? Yesterday, Jeremy and Max about looked like they were going to get into a tussle when Max said that Ryan Williams was not the second best wide receiver in college football. We'll tell you which one is, and Max and Jeremy will have a little bit of a debate, I'm sure. But we'll begin today with our first things first topic, and this is our camp check-in. But first, it's on the hype train. Chalk up a massive win for Tennessee head coach Josh Heupel and the Volunteers on the recruiting trail. Tennessee went out and landed class of 2026 athlete Salisi Moa on Thursday afternoon to bolster the Vols' ongoing recruiting class. The Ogden, Utah native is ranked as a 5-star prospect according to 24/7 Sports composite rankings. He also comes in as the number 31 prospect in the country, the number 2 athlete in the class, and the number 1 player from the state of Utah. Moa brings serious two-way talent to Tennessee with the ability to play both wide receiver and in the secondary. Who does that remind you of? It's unclear exactly how the Vols will use his skill set, but I would anticipate it's going to be on the offensive side of the ball at receiver, where this is a guy that I think could be a big-time playmaker, and Heupel is starting to stack up a very, very impressive wide receiver class, and there might be another one incoming pretty soon. But Moa, the 23rd commitment in the Vols class, now gives the Tennessee group a top 10 spot in the 24/7 2026 team rankings. And the move to the number 9 ranking on 24/7's list is also helped by the addition of Joel Wyatt, who committed earlier in the week. He's a 4-star athlete who committed on Monday afternoon. But I want to talk about what would a top 10 class mean for Josh Heupel. Heupel is often criticized for only getting 3 stars and getting low 4 stars and guys that are not as appealing on the recruiting websites. But in this class, Josh Heupel has done a really, really strong job. From guys like Faison Brandon to Gabriel Osenda to now a guy in Moa who I think is an immediate impact player. You've got defensive players like a Brandon Rouse. Like, this is a strong, strong class. And Josh Heupel is now setting the standard of, okay, we're going to have production on the field. And we have proven that in my 5 years here. But now we are really starting to pick up things on the recruiting trail. And there are a couple of guys still out there. Trishan Keys, a 5-star wide receiver, is the most likely to flip his commitment out of any current recruit that's in the top tier. And that is a projection from Rivals from him to go to LSU to Tennessee. That's one of them. Savion Heitler, a running back, another 5-star guy. You could possibly have a 5-star quarterback, running back, and wide receiver in this class, in addition to a guy that's already committed in Osenda as an offensive lineman who's a 5-star. Heupel's getting real about this recruiting thing. He's heard the noise. And now when you bring in the fact that you've got a top 25 level program in terms of the production you put out every season and the rankings, in addition to the NIL funding, in addition to the effect of Neyland Stadium on Saturdays, in addition to the fan base that is constantly popping and oozing for top-tier talent and big plays and big moments, Heupel's starting to really make this thing mix and go. So a top 10 class for Josh Heupel would mean that, okay, he's got this thing going. He's comfortable now. He's got the offense alive. He's got in Tennessee back in the college football playoff and postseason contention. Now that recruiting thing that hasn't really been good since Butch Jones consistently is starting to get going. It would be huge for Josh Heupel and company. I know we don't talk recruiting much on here because my thing is like in 2025, most of these guys that are committed might wind up and throw the hat on signing day and go to a team across the country. But what was that? Alabama. You must.
What?
Did you just utter Alabama?
I just had to call. I just had to call.
I heard it
William.
under your breath.
I had to call. Tyler, I just had to call, man.
I was more so referring to a
It's a
team.
little stuffy in here today, you know.
Yeah, well, that may be true, but I was more so referring to a guy committing and switching to a place that has a little bit more coach stability than in Alabama. Shot right back at you. Hold on now, you can't throw it and not take it. But again, I think this is Heupel showing that he is capable of recruiting at a high level. You just got to wait and get things rolling, and that's exactly what he does right now. I know we don't talk about recruiting much on here, but guys, your opinion on this, a top 10 class, what would it mean for Heupel?
Yeah, it certainly doesn't hurt, William. Now,
Yes.
I do think sometimes, and I'll take an old expression, but you don't want to get caught stargazing too much. I think sometimes it's just as much about the coaching, the infrastructure you have there, the system, and especially in today's day and age where half the recruits you get might not even end up being there their junior or senior year. So very good. You'd rather have a top 10 class than not a top 10 class. But I also think that doesn't always translate to wins on the field, especially when you're in such a razor thin margin like the SEC where every program's talented and, more than half the top 10 is usually littered with SEC teams. Then it really comes down to coaching. And that's where I'm confident because we obviously have the coaching. You give him even more talent, the sky's the limit. This is an example of that. And I hope that's the case because if they're going to be charging me a talent fee, we can't be having 18th ranked classes. I'll tell you that much.
That's a thing.
Yeah,
It is,
Tennessee
talent
implemented a talent fee now to go into Neyland Stadium. You got to pay an extra tax.
Oh my!
Pay for the players.
I haven't been to a college game in forever. That is a thing now. Wow. But
I don't think anyone else is doing it. It's just us.
Oh.
I think there are a couple of schools that have floated it around.
arrogant.
But look, Danny White's a trailblazer. He's always been one. He's
This
willing
one
to.
could have stayed in the drafts.
Well, and that may be true. But if you want to get to an elite level, you might have to find a little bit of extra funding. Also, Tennessee has a brand new Neyland kind of event district coming in and with the next 5-6 years, whenever they decide to wrap that up. But that's, got to come from somewhere as well.
Could buy Lot G, right? Is that the one that's next to Neyland?
Yes, it'll be where Lot G is. But
Man, I love that parking lot.
yeah, but continuing on this top 10, what do you do in that parking lot? Time out.
Well, I would just park there and then walk to the
Okay,
journalism school.
Okay, I was about to say, where were you going with that? The top 10 class, back on the topic of the top 10 class instead of what Tyler does in the parking lot.
I park my car and I walk to school.
Jeremy, what would a top 10 class mean for Tennessee?
You're starting to see the fruits of labor from like a Hendon Hooker, Jalen Hyatt, Cedric Tillman, a bunch of classes from before. Like Max said, having a top 10 class doesn't necessarily translate to winning, but what you're starting to see is the belief around the nation, the belief from recruits in the coaching staff, because coaching is the main reason why these players would choose to come here, because they believe that this staff will be able to elevate me possibly to the next level. So I think that's what you're starting to see. because guys are starting to see, like, if these type of guys can put up these numbers in this offense with this defense, then me with my talent, what can I do? And now I think that's what you're starting to see. So you hope that you can retain some of this talent. They come in and they can explode, and then, like, it'll just continue to snowball effect year after year to where, like, now you're always in the top 5, top 6, top 7 of recruiting. So I mean, this is actually huge for UT, and hopefully it'll be a sign of good things to come.
Yeah, Tyler.
I think the most important thing is having like a timeline, right? And I think in college football, it's very important to understand your timeline. There are some schools that don't need a timeline. They just consistently bring in talent. Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State. They never have a timeline because every year that they're going to have guys and they're going to compete for a national championship. With Tennessee, it seems like our timeline, like 2022, kind of felt like the start of a future where you had a contending window. We've had a small window here over the past 3 seasons. I think 2025, like I said previously on prior shows, I think this is going to be more of like a bridge year. With the Vols are obviously going to go out and compete, and they still can. I think they can still make the college football playoffs, but it'll be harder than last year. But I think 2026, you see this class, the number 9 ranked class on 24/7. You have a quarterback, like you said, William. It's like all kind of positional. You have a quarterback 5-star. You have a 5-star offensive tackle. On the opposing side, or on the other side, you have another 5-star tackle in David Sanders, assuming that he'll obviously won't go anywhere. And then you have Moa. You have Mike Matthews, maybe. Hopefully he stays. That is a very, very, very good offense. If you get Savion Hyder, right, that changes a lot. If you get Keys, that changes a lot. But it seems like this team's future is slowly coming together. And I think having a top 10 recruiting class, it doesn't one indicate that you can compete with the top recruits, but it also shows that you find other guys that aren't as highly recruited, aren't as talented as these 5-stars. You can still bring them on, and they can still help you win games. And like, yeah, it's great that you have 5 5-stars, but I mean, you have damn near 15 3-stars too. Like, not saying all 15 are going to play a massive role in the 2026 or 2027 season, because I don't know what's going to happen. I can't predict the future, but they will certainly, some of them will have a role. Like if you can get a 33% hit rate, right, on these 15 3-stars or 12 3-stars, however many you have, if you can hit on a third of them to be starters for you or to play a role for you, you fill the other holes through the transfer portal that now we know is more like a free agency in the NFL. And it does seem like Tennessee is a school. I'm not going to say it feels like Tennessee is a school now that players want to come to. They want to play for Heupel. They want to play in Neyland Stadium. And I think that's an important thing for culture and just for this team going forward. But I love the Moa get. This is a guy that can play both sides. He's a safety. I was kind of watching his huddle earlier when I saw that we got him, and he plays a lot in the slot, which I think is very unique as well. He's a burner. He can beat you over top. I believe he's 6'2". Yeah, 6'2". He gained 15 pounds over the past year. I've just been reading reports. This one by Greg Biggins. He said that he has a ton of range defensively and as a wide receiver, physical blocker as well. It just kind of seems like a player that Heupel wants in his system. Someone that can, roam around on the back end of the defense and also make plays with the ball in his hands whenever he gets opportunities to make a play. So I think it's kind of similar to like a Boo Carter player archetype. However, I do think the expectation for Moa is probably higher than the expectation that we had for Boo when he was going to be a freshman. So really, really good get for Tennessee and for Heupel. And hopefully we can, start to see this team becoming a powerhouse over the next, 5 years or so.
Question for you.
Yes,
If you had to bet what position you think he because he's one of those athlete types.
he'll be a wide receiver.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he'll play defense.
Really?
No. I mean, he's a wide receiver in my opinion.
That's not a comment. Like, I feel like Travis Hunter tricked our brains.
Yeah.
He's the first guy that done that in a generation, really. It's like, I don't think that's normal. It's like, Ohtani in baseball. It's not normal.
I also do think that Hunter kind of starting this, like this could start maybe a trend for like these highly 5-star recruited.
I don't think
athletes.
so, though.
But
yeah,
just because it's a trend doesn't mean it's a good idea. Like the Tide Pod
Right.
trend.
Right.
Like, everyone started putting
Right.
Tide Pods in their mouth and it wasn't that smart. It was fun the first time, and then you're like, probably not safe. Like Travis Hunter, I think is just really, really unique. Boo Carter, I think it can work because he, is in the secondary. He also returns punts, and you're just so bare at wide receiver where you need a guy like that.
You need a body, really.
Yeah.
For Moa, I mean, he's going to be coming into a more, and knock on wood, with the way college football is in 2025, he'll be coming into a wide receiver room that there are more established guys there, where you're not, grasping for straws of who's going to play. You'll have a full year of Travis Smith and Rodarius Jackson, Joakim Dotson, Braylon Staley I imagine will still be here. Mike Matthews will be your focal point. You'll have more established guys already there. And there's some players right now that, could very easily establish themselves that we're not talking about. So I think Mo will most definitely be more of a wide receiver option. And you kind of, stick to the guys that are coming in defensively to stay on that side of the ball.
Yeah, I think in regards to if that will become a trend, I think there's two sides to that for me. And one side is with the NIL money now, if I'm a 5-star guy like that and I want to do it, you hold all the power, kind of like Boo Carter, where you can say, okay, every school wants me. I need a promise that you're going to let me play both sides of the ball. Yeah. Now, it's like, we've seen that a lot with other athletes in Tennessee where we're like, yeah, you can come play on the baseball team. You can come play on the basketball team. By the end of their freshman year, they're not playing two sports because it's just so difficult in the body and demanding. I think it'd be the same way with a lot of these guys, but they might want that promise and to elevate that school. And that school, are they desperate enough to say, yep, you can do it? Secondly, does that make guys now say, in that situation, you have to pay me like a receiver and a cornerback on the NIL front?
Good point.
Because that's what I am. And would teams be willing to pony that money up? Now, the reason I think it's not going to become common, though, is the demand on the body. I mean, I don't think people how many more snaps you're playing, what teams really want to put that guy in jeopardy. Colorado could kind of do it because they weren't that great a team, and he was the best player on the roster. A guy like Moa, who, right away might not be the best player on the team, are you really wanting to risk him losing the receiver aspect so he can give you 45 snaps at DB? I don't think so. Yeah. And to be elite at both, to start at an SEC school on both sides of the ball is not, that's not just, oh, he's a 5-star, he can do that. No, it's not that easy.
That's basically the same thought process that I had. It can become a slippery slope for real. You talking about Travis Hunter, probably one of the most well-conditioned athletes that we've seen. But then again, he's playing against lesser talent, being in the Big 12 at the time. You talking about coming to the SEC, and to hit on the NIL part. If I'm a school or if I'm a coach and you are talking about trying to hold leverage over me about talking about wanting to come in to play both positions, well, then I believe what we would start seeing is that you will have contract stipulations that you have to, if you want to come in and do this, then you will have to hit certain marks.
I agree.
Yeah,
like,
I like that.
And
snap count and all that.
As far as like, production, like, I mean, I don't want to get too in depth, but if you're a receiver, you need to have maybe 1,200 yards with 80 catches by the end of the year. And with you playing DB, you better have 10 passes defense with 5 interceptions and blase this with 18 solo tackles. Like there's going to have to be some give and take, because if you have this much confidence in yourself that you can come in and do this, but you may not necessarily have the condition level to actually play this. So now you're talking about you're coming in, you're paying 30 snaps on offense, but you're 15 to 20 snaps on defense are subpar, and you're getting burned downfield.
Mm-hmm.
So I think guys really need to start looking within themselves and checking themselves on like, I can see myself doing this. I did this in high school, but you're not in high school anymore.
Yeah.
So it can become a slippery slope, and I think it can be more detrimental towards the player more so than it would towards the school team itself.
Yeah. You make some good points there, Jeremy. I've long proposed on the topic of NIL. This goes back, years, 4 to 5 years ago, when I really had first started getting on the mic and started giving opinions. NIL was one of the big hot topics at the time. And I had proposed originally, like, look, if you're going to pay these guys like, in an NBA and NHL and all the NFL players, all those leagues have salary caps outside of the MLB, and you see how that runs for the teams that don't have the highest payrolls. If you're going to pay these guys like pros, then you got to treat them like that. Salary caps in place for every team. But what you're talking about, I think, is particularly interesting as well, because then you have incentives, and it's incentive-based NIL. And I promise you, you wouldn't have guys like Boo Carter, going off the radar 3 weeks into the season if he knew that if he hit XXX,
that check's bouncing. If I'm not,
if you hit this, and this, you could make up to, and that's going to make him train a lot harder. That's going to make him play a lot harder. If that right toe or that right pinky is a little bit sore against Eastern Carolina State, Taco Bell University, they're still going to play because they're trying to hit that number. So I think it's an interesting part to it. Obviously, the NCAA likes to say, oh, no, we're not trying to do all this. We're not trying to, But, I mean, in reality, they are, and they already have. But I think that would be a very interesting wrinkle to add into NIL. Real quick, I want to be able to get to the on-field stuff today as well from day 2 of Tennessee camp. Ryan Shumpert was there today of Rocky Top Insider, gave some great analysis, friend of the station. And we'll kind of read through a couple of his notes here, particularly on the quarterback situation. And one of them popped my eye on the wide receiver situation as well. But Shumpert said, quote, "We watched a good bit of routes on air work between the quarterbacks and receivers, as well as with the quarterbacks and the running backs. While Merklinger had the best day Wednesday to open camp, the redshirt freshman signal caller struggled Thursday, completing 13 of 18 passes while we were watching. There was one bad drop in there, but Merklinger was mostly inaccurate. Joey Aguilar had a really nice day Thursday, completing 16 of his 17 pass attempts with a lone incompletion, being a drop pass from a running back that was accurate. George McIntyre, the freshman out of Brentwood Academy in Nashville, had a solid day, better day than he did Monday, 13 of 15 on those pass attempts. And we'll get into what we make of today's performances. Yesterday, we were singing the praise of Jake Merklinger. Today, Joey Aguilar steps up. And I think my big take from this is a quarterback competition. There are going to be bad days. There are going to be good days. And how you separate yourself from the rest of the pack is how you handle those bad days. Joey Aguilar, the veteran, got outshined yesterday by the young redshirt freshman, Jake Merklinger. Instead of coming in today and pouting and putting his head down, oh, no, I've lost the job already. Turns out a 16 of 17 performance today, and the lone drop wasn't on him. Now, and I'm not saying Merklinger did this, but hey, he had a really good day. I'm feeling good. You still got to be good the next day, too. This is a constant thing. So I knew that this was going to be a competitive competition. So far, Jake's got one day, Joey's got the other. And we're going to continue to track this. Who's winning the most days? And that might not necessarily play all the way into who takes a starting job, but it's interesting to navigate how guys handle adversity. What does Jake look like tomorrow? Does he have much of the same today, or does he go back to what he looked like Monday, have a little bit more sharpness? Does Joey kind of get a little bit of relax real quick? That's what I'm watching for. And we knew this quarterback situation was going to be interesting. So far through 2 days, it's lived up to the bill.
Yeah, I think you can't get caught up on each singular day. It's going to be a totality thing, a total body of work, and that's how the coaching staff's going to assess it. Us as fans and living in the here and now, you're going to overreact to every little thing. Oh, this guy, Thursday was, for whatever it may be. But I think you got to understand at the end of the day, it's going to be their total body of work. So a guy could have a really good day, but that week he might have been worse. And then you stack enough weeks and it's a month camp. That's what it's going to come down to. And I think getting too hyper focused on who did what this day or yesterday, etc., isn't really a a true indication of who might actually be in pole position for the job.
Yeah, a couple more notes real quick before we hit the break. Want to make sure you guys have enough opportunity to debate Ryan Williams being at the number 2 spot. But freshman receiver Travis Smith Jr., Shumpert writes, quote, continues to look really good, though he did have one bad drop. Chris Brazel still injured, but Smith, we talked yesterday about those freshman wide receivers possibly stepping up this season. So far, Travis Smith Jr. really performing well. Caleb Beasley, defensive back for the Volunteers, quote, looks way bigger. Looks like he's been hitting the gym or eating some creatine. I don't know what it is, but it's good to see that the DBs bulked up, like to have some size, some girth to them back there in the backfield.
Hugh Freeze would like that. You see his quote.
Yes, he would. Very odd quote from Hugh Freeze, who also looks like he's aged by 10 years this summer. But anyway, another topic for another day.
You said you need length and girth in this league.
Yes.
I wonder if that's what the lady said he was
on
the burner phone said.
Yeah. But in good news, Caleb Beasley looking strong, and that's going to be a battle between Edris Farouk and one of those defensive back battles this offseason. But Caleb Beasley looking good, looking strong. Couple of notes from today's second day of Tennessee football camp. When we come back, we know Jeremiah Smith's the best wide receiver in college football. But who's number 2? Yesterday on Overtime, there was a potential for a little bit of a firework display from the production room and in here between Max and Jeremy. We'll light those fireworks on fire when we return right here on Fan Run Radio.
Big Orange Country's home for sports. This is Fan Run Radio.
Are you looking for a treat that will knock it out of the park at the next watch party? Just like your favorite baseball team, Crumble brings the best lineup week to week with an expanded roster that includes key lime pie, strawberry cake, or my personal favorite, Monster featuring M&M candies. Let Crumble treat you to the best cookies in the game. Download the Crumble app and start earning rewards. You can even vote monthly on what flavors you would like to see at any store of your choice. Warmer weather is here, so get to the ballpark, but don't miss the cookies.
Citizens National Bank.
There are always memories to be made with family and friends, and we want you to share your memories with us. Share your best photos depicting your memorable experiences throughout the year, and your photo could be chosen to be in our 2019 Memories Calendar. Simply upload your photo to CMB's Facebook page's photo contest application or deliver it to any branch.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Visit cmbtn.com for official contest rules.
Hey Knoxville, Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, 0 carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka. Sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka. Sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the Volunteer State. Smoked daily by Pitmaster Mark Rickard. The barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134. For directions and to look at the rest of the menu, visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
Ready to launch your career? Axel Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axel proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axel, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axel Logistics is the place to start your career.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game, Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
hanging out with us, whether it be on the free Fan Run Radio app, 105.7 FM or 1340 AM, or on the free Fan Run Radio app. Have I already said that? I can't. I can't. Oh my gosh. All right. YouTube live stream, X live stream, however it may be. We do appreciate your time. We will switch over to the second link. Now, we know Jeremiah Smith is by far the nation's best wide receiver in college football. But there are plenty of others in the running for the second best in the country. And yesterday, if you didn't join us on overtime, Max said he believes that Alabama's Ryan Williams is not the second best.
Insane, but let's go.
And Jeremy, I am sure, believes something differently. So we'll begin real quick. Max explain why Ryan Williams is not the second best. Jeremy, I'll give you an opportunity to respond, and then we'll go around the table and give our number two, who we believe is the second best wide receiver in college football. Max, why is Ryan Williams not two?
Just look at the box score. That's all you need to know. I mean, what the guy had a great game against Georgia in a primetime game that was one of the most watched college football games on the season. The production after that was not that good. I mean, he's a freshman, so yes, he gets more of a pass, but he's not a top 3 or 4. I mean, what are we talking about here? Look, after the Vanderbilt game on October 5th, so basically a third of the way through the season, he had one game over 53 yards the rest of the season. That's more than half the season. One game with more than 4 catches, 2 touchdowns. I mean, what are we talking about? That's Dante Thornton for you right there. And this guy just happened to have a good game in a 7:30 ABC time slot that was watched by a lot of people, and he plays at a prestigious program, and they want to crown him as the next great thing. No, he's a good receiver. I'm sure he will be even better as the years go on. Right now, based on the season he had last year, I mean, Oklahoma, 2 catches, 37 yards. Auburn, 3 catches, 53 yards. Michigan, 3 catches, 8 yards. Missouri, 4 catches, 53 yards. LSU, 2 for 29. Does that scream second best receiver in the country to you? No, that screams, is this guy the second on the roster? I mean, that's what the wide receiver 2s usually put up.
Yeah.
On top 10, 15 teams. Wide receiver 1s are usually 5 catches, 80-plus yards every week. He was not that. He had a great game. He will be a very good player. I'd love to have him on my team. He's not at the level yet to be anywhere near the top 3 receiver conversation for me.
Jeremy looks like Mike Tyson back there. He's ready to throw a punch.
Okay, but you have to give context when you're talking about Ryan Williams, okay, and the type of season that he had. Okay, so we're talking about a quarterback in Jalen Milroe who was more times than not super inaccurate. He has tunnel vision. He doesn't see the field well at all, and plus he's really a true run first quarterback. Okay, so let's talk about the game at UT when Ryan Williams had 20 targets. Okay, yes, that's overused to try to get him the ball, but you talking about balls over his head, balls down at his feet. I mean, even if he was able to make something happen, he can't really do it. But then furthermore, outside of Jeremiah Smith, who is truthfully a more big play receiver in the college game today? I mean, we're talking about a 17-year-old who has big play capabilities in his first year in the SEC. I mean, I don't necessarily know who we can actually elevate above him coming into this season. Yes, his numbers aren't gaudy like you would like to see for a number 1 receiver, which I think that would change with better QB play this season and possibly more motion within the offense. But you talking about last year, most likely he's always drawn the number 1 corner attention. Okay, yeah. He's getting doubled on a lot of routes and stuff like this. So you have to be able to get context, because probably outside of Jeremy Bernard, who else was really alleviating pressure off of Ryan Williams?
Would you say Kendrick Law was?
Listen, we're going to have to discuss Kendrick Law, because it hurts my heart that he's at Kentucky, because I felt like that was our Deebo Samuel, but we did not utilize him properly. And we really didn't even utilize him properly, I thought, even when Saban was there. Another discussion for another day. So, but with Ryan Williams, you talking about a kid who is, I believe, 6'3", 6'4", I believe. He has good top end speed. Like I said, big play big play capability. He has a large catch radius. He has jumping ability. So his one-on-one play making ability is there. So like I said, outside of Jeremiah Smith, who is built already like an NFL player, I mean, good God, he looks like Andre Johnson.
Yeah,
That's a good
at
comp.
19, at 19, which is just insane. So the biggest thing that I see from Ryan Williams going in from year 1 to year 2 is that he must get in that weight room.
Yeah.
He must get in the weight room. You saw from McCoy, I mean, good God, he was basically manhandling him at the line.
Yeah.
For better or for not.
Playing grown man football.
Yes, very. And I felt like that had to be a waking up moment, because the only touchdown that he got in the UT game is when he had to flip sides of the field and end up getting on possibly the number 2 corner in order to get his touchdown. But like I said, his big play capability, his understanding of route running. I mean, you don't see too many young kids coming into a D1 arena and being able to be savvy with their route running like he is. He already understands how to stack a DB early in his route running. He understands zone coverages as well, so he knows how to throttle down, sit in the zone to wait for the ball. So it's all these things that mesh together that truthfully do make him the number 2 receiver coming into this season.
Yeah. Look, I think one thing that is not going to show up in the stat sheet is his route running and his elusiveness and his ability to get open. And Jalen Milroe missed a couple of times. And there were also plays that just Milroe didn't see him and went the other way or had too much pressure in his face. I think Ryan Williams, in terms of a guy that can get open, I think is one of the best in the country. Maybe the numbers might not necessarily be there, but definitely for a guy that's jumping into year 2, coming off of what he did last year, very, very impressive, and a guy that I think deserves to be in this conversation. So I'm going to say that you're saying that he's the second best wide receiver in the country. Is that accurate, Jeremy?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I mean, outside of Jeremiah Smith, I mean, who's just an absolute monster.
I mean, and I just wanted to get your confirmation before we go around the room.
He's well, of course he's going to be my number 2, but yes,
well, I'm just making sure. I don't know.
I mean, but even outside the biasness, from what I've seen last year, he has to be the clear-cut number 2 receiver coming in. I mean, for all the reasons that are spelled out already.
Okay. So for Jeremy, it's Ryan Williams. For Max, it is.
Well, if you want to be scared, put him and Carnell Tate's numbers next to each other. Not very different.
Okay.
More catches for Tate as well.
You got to give context, though. See that?
Yeah, he wasn't even the number 1 on his roster. He wasn't even
the
number 1 on his roster. So there's less targets to go around. And Williams' quarterback got drafted higher than Tate's did and Jeremiah Smith's. But for me, it's Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State.
Okay,
and
good one.
He only played in 12 games last year. You'd say, okay, maybe his numbers are a little skewed because they made the playoff. No, he missed the playoff game. 75 catches, 1,100 yards, and really burst onto the scene. He started his career at Colorado as kind of an unknown, didn't play his sophomore year at Arizona State, burst onto the scene, outstanding year last year. The production is there that a Ryan Williams doesn't have yet. Is Ryan Williams any more talented? Sure, but right now you're projecting, as opposed to what Jordan Tyson has done at the college football Division I level. Really good last year. I don't think he gets enough attention because he plays in the Big 12. He plays out west. He's not on your TV every week, but 1,100 yards in 12 games. I mean, almost 100 yards a game. Outstanding year for him. It was unfortunate he couldn't go in that Texas game. I think that would have, made a little bit of a difference. Right now, I think he'd be the first receiver off the board as well in this upcoming draft. It's probably him or Antonio Williams, but Jordan Tyson, to me, what the difference is, he did in a 12-game sample size what very few did at all last year, even guys that played 14, 15 games. Really good. If he played in the SEC or the Big Ten, I think it'd be much more of a no-brainer and a household name to people on the East Coast.
Yeah, really good selection there. I would have gone with Tyson as well. I think Tyson and Sam Levitt are going to form one of the best wide receiver quarterback duos in the country. Kenny Dillingham, I think, is a really, really strong up-and-coming coach. Reminds me a lot of a Dan Lanning, but maybe, Dan Lanning is like the non-Monster Energy version of Kenny Dillingham, because, my golly, Dillingham gets really fired up. There's a bit today. He was just going off about the way Arizona State practiced today. He was like, teams are going to go 5-7. Teams are going to go 6-6. Teams are going to go 3-9. If you practice like this, you'll be one of those teams. But I love Dillingham. I love this Arizona State team. I think they'll be really fun to watch, and I think they'll be a college football playoff team and win the Big 12. So Tyson is a really, really strong answer. I'm going to go with the guy that you had subtly mentioned there, and Antonio Williams out of Clemson. First team All-ACC pick last season, is next to a couple of really strong receivers and Bryant Wesco and TJ Moore. But Williams had a nose for the end zone last year, tying for third among Power 4 wideouts with 11 receiving touchdowns. Really good route runner, placed in the 94th percentile in separation rate against single coverage, while also catching 58% of his contested targets in 2024. Talk about reliable. Talk about a guy that can create space off the line of scrimmage immediately. An easy target for Cade Klubnik, who I think is the best quarterback in the country, paired up with, one of the top receivers in the country in Antonio Williams. I think that's going to be a really fun duo to watch this season. A lot of good ones. I like Tyson. I like Williams. I also look at Antonio Williams as one of the strongest wide receivers in the clubhouse this season. I'm expecting big things out of Clemson. I really am. Clemson, as I should say, to not piss off Tyler. But I think this team's going to be good because of guys like Williams on this roster. Tyler, who do you have as your second best wide receiver in college football?
Well, you stole mine, William. I had Antonio Williams. I just really like his polished route running. He has good hands, good size. I think the one avenue that he can get better at is just after the catch. I think if he can become more explosive in that area, he will be the second best wide receiver in college football. I think having Cade Klubnik there is really going to just help him repeat his success from last year. But don't want to repeat everything that you just said. A player that I think is flying really under the radar is Mekhi Lemon from USC. Okay. I just really like his versatility. Great hands. He's really good intermediate route runner. Wouldn't consider him a burner. But I think when the ball is in his hands, he just makes plays. Against Texas A&M in their bowl game last year, went 6 catches for 99 yards. Against Notre Dame late in November last year in that game that USC lost 49-35. He had 9 catches for 133 yards. This is just a guy that really got it going towards the back end of last season. I think he's going to have an expanded role this year as he'll be a junior, I believe. Just a really polished wide receiver that I think, doesn't have any glaring weaknesses, doesn't have any glaring strengths. I just think he's very, very solid. And I think if USC overperforms and they have a good season, I think a lot of that will be because of
breath.
Yeah. I think that would be because of Mekhi Lemon. If they were to have a more down year, I think Mekhi Lemon has a down year. I think that he's very steady, consistent, and he's just a wide receiver that, I'll be watching a lot in 2026.
Yeah, their quarterback, what is it?
Mayava?
Yeah, Mayava from UNLV. I really liked him. And he played at the end of last season when Miller Moss decided to throw a hissy fit and leave the program.
Oh, no Miller Moss slander here.
Are you kidding me?
I like Miller Moss.
Oh, come on. Miller Moss pouted out of the locker.
You can't not like a name like Miller Moss, dude. Come on.
Well, maybe he'll do something for Louisville this season. But I do like – I think USC's got a lot of pressure this season just on the topic of them. I mean, Lincoln Riley hasn't done a damn thing ever since arriving there, and he had the number 1 pick for 2 seasons. And – and
that was in the Pac-12.
Yeah. I do want to mention 2 more guys. Caleb Douglas from Texas Tech. For people that don't follow college football that much, they might not know who this guy is, but dazzled in the Liberty Bowl last year against Arkansas, so there's an SEC tie. But really long limb receiver. Baron Morton, quarterback for Texas Tech, returning for another season. Caleb Douglas, I think, will have a really big year for Texas Tech, which I think is a borderline top 25 team. I'm surprised no one said this name. Jaden Greathouse out of Notre Dame.
I was just when you turned it to me, I was going to say a guy I'm looking out to take a big step this year is Jaden Greathouse.
Well, Jaden Greathouse,
darn it,
was awesome last year in the college football playoffs.
I was not think you were going to say that. Darn it.
Well, I mean, I know my wide receivers. I mean, 13 passes caught for 233 yards and 3 touchdowns against Penn State and Ohio State last year. Talk about a guy that took over the game and honestly won them the game against Penn State. That long touchdown he had about, 60, 75 yards.
Kept him in the game in the title as well.
Exactly. And now you have a guy in Malachi Fields, the transfer from Virginia, coming over. You now have an actual 1-2 punch at receiver. Last year, it was Greathouse and a former lacrosse player as their 1-2. Now you've got a guy in Fields that is a legitimate wide receiver too. I think Jaden Greyhouse is going to have a great season.
And I also think on that topic, this isn't a Notre Dame show, but I do think Riley Leonard was good, but he had his clear limitations as a passer, and that negatively affected some of the output for some of their receivers, tight ends, etc. I think you get in a more gifted passer than Leonard had. He couldn't really throw the ball past 25 yards.
Yeah.
They made it work. I think you'll see his numbers and the overall production for Greathouse also benefit from that as well.
Yeah. All right, good stuff. We have settled it, kind of. The wide receiver 2 debate, who's the second best in college football outside
Evan
of
Stewart, too. I'll throw that name out
Well,
there.
he's not going to play this year, though.
He's not?
He's hurt. He's probably going to be out the whole year. He got hurt, blew out his knee, I'm pretty sure.
Ooh. OT, like off-season?
Off-season workout. He could return maybe late in the season, college football playoff, maybe just to, walk in and get blown out by, Ohio State again. But
burn his red shirt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess he could play 4 games. I don't know what the redshirt rules are for postseason play, but maybe he could come back and play. I don't know. All right. When we come back on the other side, Scary Terry, scary news for the Commanders. We'll break it down. We return right here on Fan Run Radio.
Catch up with all things Fan Run by subscribing to our podcast feed. Like, rate, and download the show from the Fan Run app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Ever been the coach who realized the team's gear just wasn't up to par? Well, if I'm being honest, that was me. Just a downright irresponsible and plain bad coach. Then SM Athletics changed the game. I want you to picture this. I walk into their store, a coach with a vision. SM Athletics didn't just see a coach. They saw a team's potential, and they delivered custom uniforms so striking. Our team's spirit soared. From cutting-edge apparel to top-notch equipment, SM Athletics transformed our presence. No more unreliable online orders or envying the other team's style. SM Athletics stands for quality, design, and on-time delivery every time. Coaches, elevate your team with SM Athletics. Call 865-966-3434 or visit smathletics.com. Get the best for your team, delivered right and on time. So, elevate your team's game by contacting SM Athletics today.
This is Coach Josh Heupel. In football and life, you need a solid defense to protect what matters most. That's where Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee comes in. Score peace of mind with Farm Bureau Insurance, the official insurance of the Vols. They're your line of defense. FBITN.com.
This is Baseball VFL Cody Brown. Farm Bureau Insurance is the official insurance of the Tennessee Vols. I'm here to be that line of defense for all your insurance needs. Give me a call at 865-992-3871 and go Vols.
At Knoxville Smiles, we're bringing the future of modern dental care to East Tennessee today. All of the scraping and polishing with the gritty stuff, that will soon be ancient history. At Knoxville Smiles, the future is here now with guided biofilm therapy. Using a gentle erythritol powder mixed with air and warm water, our hygienists can clean your teeth better than ever without all the poking and scraping. Visit KnoxvilleSmiles.com to find out more, or just call us at 865-539-1776.
White Claw is taking hard seltzer to new heights with White Claw Surge. At 8% alcohol, White Claw Surge is a stronger wave of refreshment that doesn't compromise on taste. Available in 4 bold waves of flavor like ripe blackberry, citrusy blood orange, zesty natural lime, and tart cranberry. Check out your favorite retailer in-store and online for the White Claw Surge Variety 12-pack and 16-ounce single-serve cans. White Claw Surge. Please drink responsibly.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Thursday. Oh, he's man of the board.
I had a fantastic Thursday. Thank you for asking, William.
Well, you didn't even say it right. You should have said I had a fantastic Tyler Thursday.
Sorry, I know.
I'm sorry. I caught you in a pickle.
But I did
there.
have a fantastic Tyler Thursday.
Good. Well, who's not having a fantastic Tyler Thursday are Commanders fans, as Terry McLaurin has requested a trade after the contract dispute has not gone in his favor. We've talked about this a couple of times already when we were discussing the top wide receivers in the NFL a couple of weeks back. Now, Terry McLaurin could possibly be on another team next year as he's trying to figure it out. Look, I think it's really, really important they keep him because Jaden Daniels in year 2, this is when the film is out on you. You have to now adapt to defenses playing a little bit differently. We saw what C.J. Stroud looked like last year. Play 2 high safeties, say beat us within 15 yards, and he wasn't as successful doing that. So the read on Daniels is going to be a little bit different because he's a better runner. But still, this is a guy that needs to be surrounded by good players, and Deebo Samuel is not that. So Terry McLaurin needs to stick around for this Commanders team to be back in the NFC Championship game again this season. If I'm the Commanders, I don't even know why we're at this point. Pay the guy and get it over with.
Yeah, I think how much of this is positioning for McLaurin. We've seen Hendrickson do it. We saw T. Higgins do it last year to force the hand a little bit more to really get the money he wants. He wants to be paid kind of like the DK Metcalf contract. And there are teams out there that would do that in a heartbeat. I think in New England is they got a ton of cap money to spend, and they need a proven receiver. They'd give Terry McLaurin $33 million a year if Washington doesn't want to. I think they get something done here. Washington would be silly not to, especially all this guy has done for your franchise. Reward him, give him what he wants. I kind of hate that they've let it get this ugly to begin with. Yeah. He's an icon for them, has done a lot, and bad teams, give him his payday. He deserves it. If you're willing to give Deebo Samuel legit guaranteed money, give Terry McLaurin guaranteed money.
Yeah, I mean, you got to. I mean, you talking about Terry has basically kept his team relevant when they shouldn't have been.
Definitely.
I mean, so
catching passes from some
very questionable QBs and but still producing. I mean, but that's been the thing. Like, he has still produced for you. I mean, so I mean, they should definitely pay him. But if they don't, my Colts better step in.
Hey, my Steelers too.
Hey, I'm just saying.
With what money?
I'm just saying.
They got a little bit of money to play with.
Well, I mean,
they make the cap's fake in football.
Yeah,
I'd take Duval, Terry McLaurin, since we're all getting in on the train here.
He's not going to get traded. He's not going to get traded. If DK Metcalf
got Adam Schefter in the back.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just think that it would be pointless not to pay the man who has stuck through your. I think it would be pointless not to pay the man who has had like 6-7 different quarterbacks.
Oh, come on.
What? I said he has 6-7 different quarterbacks.
I know what you're doing there. All right, continue.
He's had a bunch of different quarterbacks, grinded out 1,000-yard seasons for you. And now he wants $30 million, which is what DK Metcalf got. He believes he's better than DK Metcalf. If he wants $30 million, Adam Peters should give him $30 million, because if you want to speed up your championship window, which they have done this offseason, trying to build a team around Jaden to compete while he's on a rookie contract.
That's the best point.
You got to trade. I mean, you got to re-sign Terry McLaurin because you're not going to get to the Super Bowl with Deebo Samuel as your wide receiver 1. Every good Super Bowl team. Niners did it.
I'm joking,
but they had Ayuk and Kittle. But I just lost my train of thought. Every Super Bowl team has a true wideout 1, and the Commanders aren't going to be able to do that with the washed-up Deebo Samuel. And on top of that, over the past 3 years, you've seen Deebo hold out, you've seen Ayuk hold out, you've seen Higgins hold out. And what, 2 of those 3 guys?
Chase, I think, did
Chase,
as well.
3 out of those 4 guys got paid and stayed on their teams. Deebo, that relationship just completely crumbled. But it seems like this holdout is just a leverage move to be like, all right, if you're not going to pay me, then I'm going to go play somewhere else and absolutely torch you guys.
Yeah, only about 35-something days away from the NFL season beginning. The clock is ticking for the Commanders to make a decision, and the clock is ticking for us here on Overtime. Hold on.
Shout out all the Slate listeners. Carlos Carrasco already given up 3 runs, so we'll take it. We'll take it.
Go.
One
All
a
right.
night.
All right. Good stuff. Good cash on the slate live on the air on overtime. A little crossover right there.
Yeah.
And
Appreciate everyone listening north of us too.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. That will wrap it up for a Thursday edition of Overtime. We appreciate you hanging out with us here on Fan Run Radio. For Max Pennell, Jeremy Inslee, and Adam Schefter, we appreciate you hanging out with us.